Hi, my name is Yusuf Edwards, and today we are starting part 5 of Abigail Freeman, the Abigail Freeman story. So, just to recap, just to make sure that everyone is clear on this is going to be a little bit of a recap. So, her parents get married, they, they have, you know, they do the thing, and then they get pregnant. She gets pregnant. Her mom gets pregnant with her. And that's how. No, no, no. I'm doing that. So just to recap. They get married. They have kids. Well, they get married at this huge wedding reception. And then they get married. And then after that, they go on the honeymoon and they have sex. Or they do the thing. And a couple months later, Abigail Freeman is born. Now back to the show. Or, yeah, show, I guess. So anyway, she has been on her, like, writing cake, trying to get off of, trying to get her mind off of the, news. Trying to get her mind off the news. So she keeps writing and she, says, I, yeah. So she goes into a little bit of detail about the birth. She says, I didn't know this before, but but she takes a breath before writing it. She says, to her, to herself, she says, but I was a lot bigger than I thought. She says, in the book, and she also says, I I didn't know how big I was she said she said it, and I had to be real loudly about the C-section, and then I had to got cut the C-section, and then after that, the rest was gravy, she says. All they had to do was, can't C-section, sorry, a C-section for me, and that's how I got out. It's a big deal. She says she treated it as a casual thing, like it was normally do, of course. And then she also says, and that's how basically I was born. It was 1979. I was a little baby, of course, and and then they took me home. She says, "What? It was really fast, and it was fairly simple." She says, and then she starts to cry again. So she goes into her bathroom to just let it out again. She comes back a couple minutes later, and then she just writes the rest of the story like nothing ever happened. But of course, she's still sad about the whole news, about the whole situation that she has found herself in. But she still writes. So she continues to tell the story about her birth, and she continues to tell the story about how much she was crying over the past couple months. And then she starts talking about and then she fast forwards a lot, well actually a little bit, and then she starts talking about the time that she was like 4. So she says, and I quote, "Well, I have memories of playing with my father, and I have a good time with my mom too. We both played together very well, and I like football, basketball. We had a basketball court when I was just 4 years old, and I just, sitting down, get a little bit. I was a good basketball player when I was a 4-year-old kid. So, and then she says, I didn't know that at the time, but it was that I would develop my love for basketball this early." She says, "But yeah, I am a huge basketball fan now. This is why." Anyway, so she says, and then she says, and then she no, and then after that, she talks about her father and her mom's relationship. She says that they didn't argue that much. Excuse me. She says they didn't argue that much for me, but yeah, or at all. They were very good. They were a very good couple. She says in the book, and then she says in the book, I so yeah, I was brought relatively great in the 80s, I guess, as well as you could be in those days. And then she fast forward again to her, I want to say preteen years, but she says her preteen years in the book. And then she says, well, I was just 12 actually, she says. I was 12 years old in 1989, well, 1996, when I first saw my aunt. Well, actually, yes, when I first saw my aunt for the first time, the year was 1996. I had just, done the dishes, and we had a trip that we were going to go to, she says. And that was it. And so she stopped the book because she started to cry again. Started to think about the situation that she was in. Hi, just a quick recap. She she talked about her birth. She talked about everything else. And yeah, she talked about her birth. She talked about a little bit of her childhood. And then now she's going to talk about how she got into dinner next. So I hope you're looking forward to that. And if you are, subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.